man, y'all see they got another one. Yeah, y'all see it, man. Fuck all that, what happened to you? Yeah.
DC the Voice, Alabama Prisoner Profiles. What's going on with y'all, man? Happy Friday to y'all, man. Make sure y'all continue to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn the notification bell on and off so you can be notified. Share the content with everyone so you can continue to be updated about what's going on within the Alabama Department of Corrections. Say, man, we are officially monetized, y'all, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I wanted to hop on here, housekeeping, you know what I'm saying? You want to hear it, fast forward SMD, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can send super chat, super thanks. If I go live, I'll post some type of donation link soon, but I wanted to thank y'all. 7 months, we've been trapping hard out the pinto, as Dookie Wild would say, you know what I'm saying? Finally found the hobby that I really love, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't involve nefarious acts, and I want to thank y'all for making this possible for me, I guess us, and everyone that helped me along the way, every interviewee, every inmate source, every free world advocate that has contributed in some way. Thank you. I appreciate all the subs that have been watching and interacting with the channel to push it to this point. Thank you. And everyone on all the other platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, emails, and everyone else that interacts with the content there, thank you guys. Another thanks to all the bigger content creators that's real enough to answer a damn DM, you know what I'm saying, and give me some advice on what I should do with the channel and how to conduct it. It's only up from here. Out of about 160 videos, only 24 didn't get monetized, either for violence or some other, random nefarious reason. Only about 3 that are just completely ineligible, but the rest of them are just limited monetization with it, so I only get whatever the heck that means. So I'm gonna try to clean up the cursing and all that good stuff for you older people and stuff like that. Bear with me. Dude's like, your channel's so good, you don't need to curse to put that extra emphasis on. I'm not trying to put extra emphasis on nothing. It's just how I talk. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, 24 out of 160, that's a much smaller L than I anticipated that I would take once we got fully monetized. Since they banned us for that violence, I'm like, damn, are they going to go back and ban the other 160 videos that have the same intro on it? But luckily they didn't. I don't really know how that works, but nevertheless, I'm appreciative, but I was prepared to start fresh because I wasn't going to take any of those videos down. Like, they're classics now as far as I'm concerned. 7 months, we here. Okay, next subject. Okay, I blocked another yee-yee. Blocked another yee-haw that said I couldn't understand that jive talk at the beginning, but you ain't got to worry about it, Uncle Daddy. Get your ass out of here. Blocked. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna have to worry about it because I blocked this country ass. So y'all get stupid in the comment section and say something that's not positive. You know what I'm saying? While this is still growing, I'm on that now. I'm on that. We turning up. It's going up. 1 subscriber talking crazy. I don't need it. I don't need you. I don't need your view. I don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? So try to keep that ish positive. And once again, thank you all. And today we got part 2 of that boy LacSB. So without further ado, here we go.
Limestone was like a going home camp back in the day, man. There wasn't no drugs there. It was just whiskey. There might have been 1 cell phone in the camp the whole time. Limestone was like a going home camp. They called it Cracker Hill.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I hadn't heard Cracker Hill, but I heard it was like the White House. A lot of white inmates there as well.
It was. It was a cracker camp, and it is not no more, man. Like, okay, so when I was there, I'm standing at the back gate or whatever of the chow hall, and I'm talking to Josh Davis. He's still at Limestone. His name's Joshua Davis. He's one of my brothers. And anyways, there's a kid named Andrew Vittich, and they're both from Andalusia. Well, Andrew Vittich is like an autistic kid. He's in his early 20s, but he's got the mindset of like a 10-year-old or whatever. So he's gotten raped like 3 times on the big yard, and it hit Priya on it.
Jesus.
Yeah, and the big yard is like K dorm, J dorm, I dorm, and L dorm. And I was in pre-release at the time when that shit happened. And I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to Dirt Road and a guy named Blair, who was over like the IGDs there at the camp. And we're talking to Josh Davis, and I'm getting shit, you know, to make my whiskey or whatever in the pre-release dorm to sell, and getting like my sugar, my yeast, and stuff from him, and I'd pay him in top. Well, Andrew Vittich comes walking up, and he asked me, he said, hey, he just got moved to the pre-release dorm, you know, kind of like as a PC, I guess you could say, type measure, because the PC dorm was full. And at the time, the crossover gates weren't fully swinging yet. So, you know, you could come up to the officer, give him a pack of Newports or whatever, get through the gate and shit, you know, or you would burn out at chow call and just stay behind and then go to whatever yard you needed to go to.
So have you seen the only PC unit in the state? Is that what you're saying? Like, what do they live like? I'm kind of...
Well, you don't have any interaction with them.
Damn.
So I've never been in the dorm. And it's on the small yard. So you got like the chow hall, and then if you're looking at the chow hall from the back of it to the right, you got the healthcare unit. After the healthcare unit, you got B dorm. Then you got C dorm, D dorm, and E dorm. E dorm is off in like the back right corner, and that's the PC dorm. But the guards deliver all their trays. They don't come out or nothing. They stay locked down in that dorm, separated from the camp.
Have you ever seen anybody on the yard? Maybe there's like, or like, can you see them from behind, across the yard or the fence or anything? If they come out?
They don't come out for yard call or nothing. The whole time I was there. They stay locked down in the dorm. Limestone got real rough real fast. They went to stabbing officers and all kinds of shit.
Damn.
It got bad. It got flooded with paper route, ice, heroin. You name it, it hit the compound when they started running them trains from St. Clair and Holman there.
And what around what time is this again?
This was 21 through 22.
Okay, shit.
And so anyways, he asked me if I'd move this little motherfucker in my cut in J dorm, and in F dorm, in the pre-release dorm. And I told him, I said, yeah, I'll do that. I'll look out for him because my bro's at him. Now, as I'm walking back to the pre-release dorm, Blair's walking with me. He's headed over to IGDs, and he's lacing me up. I don't know at the time that this little motherfucker done hit Priya on like 3 people, and he can't even be on the big yard. So he's lacing me up on all this shit, and I'm like, damn it, man. He's like, Casberry, don't get yourself in no shit now.
So that's bad? Like, you didn't want, that means like, damn, I probably shouldn't room with this kid because he may, like, cry rape on me or something? Or it's just like,
yeah,
in trouble with other motherfuckers trying him and me having...
Well, motherfuckers gonna try him, and he's friendly as fuck. Hey, you need a cigarette? Here. I got cigarettes, you know, or whatever. And motherfuckers would give him shit. Like a creep will come up and will give you shit. And they have an ulterior motive behind it. They don't tell you owe nothing. And he wouldn't think to ask them, you know, what do you want for this? Or whatever. He'd just say, oh, thank you. And he would think they're his friends. But, you know, they're not really his friends. And so I felt bad for the kid. I knew it would look bad. And so, anyways, Joshua Haynes, he's from Colvin. And he was AB. And Patrick Hicks, he's one of my SB bros. He's from like Walker County, the Jasper area. And we all shared a cut right there. And the pre-release dorm, everybody in there is like within a year of going home. So everybody in there is like, the animosity in the dorm ain't too bad, you know. And so, anyways, I moved him over there. Joshua Haynes already knows who he is. He's like, man, hell no. And I said, hey, chill out, bro. I promised my bro Josh that I was gonna watch him. You know what I mean? And I was like, he's gonna move on top of my rack. So I would go out during the day and I would hustle and whatnot. And I'd leave him with like a pack of tops and shit and a couple soups or a chili pack, you know, whatever, or a setup. Leave him with like a big ass chicken sandwich, a drink, and whatever I got off the snack line. That way he wouldn't borrow nothing. And I was like, he had the mindset of a 10-year-old, so people could just take advantage of him. And he's too, you know, he doesn't have the common sense to realize it. And so I would go out and I would hustle, me, Joshua Haynes, and Pat, and we would hustle, sell our whiskey and shit, and I'd come back. And this motherfucker would have a creep sitting on my rack with him. You know, so I got into it. Look, man, I got into it about 10 times over that shit before I ended having problems with that. And motherfuckers always trying him and shit. But he ended up getting C51, which is like an emergency shipment. They shipped him to another camp. I don't know where he ended up at. I was out on the yard hustling one day, and I came back and shit, and all his bedroll and shit was packed up, and he was gone.
Yeah, she dodged the potential fucking wreck right there. Man.
Yeah, and everybody was calling me in the dorm. They all called me Daddy Castleberry. They were like, Daddy Castleberry, your son's missing you. Yeah. And, you know, I'd come back, but I'd let him rock out on my tablet, and I didn't want nothing from him. You know, and he put me on the phone with his mom a few times and shit, and his grandmother, and they would try to put money on my books. But I couldn't accept it. I told him, you know, I don't really feel right. This dude, you know, he was in there for terroristic threat. He threatened to blow up the hospital in Andalusia. He didn't even know what the fuck he did wrong. You know what I mean? And so you know, I told his folks, you know, I can't take your money. I'm just gonna try to make sure he gets home. And because he had a short. I was getting out in June, and he was scheduled to get out in May. But he got shipped at the end of February. And I hadn't heard from him, tried looking him up on Facebook. Hell, tried calling his mama's number to check on him, see if he made it home, but I had never got no answer, no reply. So, you know, he might have been one of those that got lost in the system.
Well, damn.
But, yeah, but no, Limestone was rough, but that's kind of like where I guess you could say I earned my most respect from. I was at the back gate again talking to Josh Davis at the back gate of Chow Hall one day, and Blair had walked up and was talking to me, Dirt Road, and Josh Davis again. Well, another guy came walking up to him. He was one of my bros at the time. I violated him for act of cowardice and shit. He walked up to Blair and he said, "Hey, ain't you that dude that owes me some store items and shit?" And Blair was like, "Do I look like that motherfucker that owes store items? Bitch, I loan store items and shit." And I'm like, "Man, motherfucker." And when he looks at Blair, he said, "My bad, man. You know, you and old buddy look alike." And here we go with that. I said, "Oh, hell no." You know, so dude, Blair's like, "Oh, y'all think all of us goddamn look alike and shit? That racist ass shit." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, Blair, chill out. I got him. You know what I mean? He's sorry, man. So I grabbed dude and I take him back to the dorm, and Dirt Road's talking to Blair. He lives in B dorm with Blair. And anyways, he's talking to Blair. I'm talking to old buddy, and I'm telling him, "Hey, man, that shit wasn't cool." And you know, you owe him an apology or whatever. So I'm walking the yard about an hour later, right? And these dudes come up to me. 3 dudes approach me. And they're like, "Hey, you SB?" I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We finna start clutching your SBs and ABs out." I said, "Ain't none of y'all fixing to clutch none of us out." And they're like, you better come over and holler at Blair." So I just take off on dude right there. Bing, bing, bing. Well, they whoop my ass. They don't knock me all the way out, clutch me all the way out. But they touch me up a little bit. They're like, "You better get your ass over there and holler at Blair." So I'm like, "Man, whatever, man." So I go and holler at Billy Walker. They call him Paw Billy. He's from Fort Payne, from DeKalb, County, Alabama. And he's kind of over the camp at the time. And Josh is like, "Low man, blow him." So I go over there and holler at him and tell him what's going on. And anyways, I tell him, I said, "Look, man, they done jumped me, whatever." I said, I'm going over here to holler at him. Old buddy needs to come with me too. Oh, his name was Jeff Cruz, the one that said that shit to Blair. His name was Jeff Cruz. And anyhow, I was like, you know, he needs to go holler at him before they come over here and, you know, try to stab us up or whatever. We need to go clean face. And anyways, half the bros there were like, no, I don't feel like doing that. But Patrick Higgs, Josh Haynes, Josh Davis, Tyler Baird and shit, you know, they were all, and Stephen Pike were all like, yeah, we need to go see him. You know, said they were going to, you know, clutch us out or whatever. We need to make our name taste like shit in their mouth. And I'm young and I'm hot-headed, and Wes Jefferson threw me off. So I'm young and I'm hot-headed. I'm like, let's go holler at him. Yeah, so fucking I go to this dude, he's called Daycare. He's AB. He gives me 2 knives. So I put one on each waistline. Tyler gets his knife and shit. Patrick gets his knife. Josh has his knife. Now, Paw Billy, he wants to go, but this son of a bitch looks like Father Time, and he's just fucking decrepit. You know what I mean? Old and withered, walks with a cane, and we're like, you sit your old ass down, we'll go see him. So I go to Cruz's cell. He lives in J-Dorm, and I'm like, hey, man, you need to come the fuck on, you know, and go over here with us. He's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want. I'm like, well, you need to get up and go over here and clean face, or I'm fixing to violate you right now. Well, excuse me. He's like, man, whatever, it's like that, bro. And I said, exactly like that. You know, I don't run with no cowards. So he gets up, he comes over there, we go over to B-Dorm or whatever, and I'm up there, and my other bros, they burn out, and they go in the barber shop in B-Dorm. All right, me and Cruz are sitting there talking to Blair, and there's about 30 motherfuckers around us talking about, I got this fucking gat on me and all kinds of shit. I got this goddamn lawnmower blade, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, fuck. Blair was like, nah, he's like, nah, Castleberry's straight, you know, and he was like, anyway, yeah, I was thinking, phew. But at the same time, I was thinking that if my bro's standing up for himself and he's defending himself, you know, I told Blair, he said, what would you do if I hit you in the shot? I said, hey, Blair, chill out with that, man. I said, look, because Blair would give me, like, ID cards on paper route, and I'd go sell paper route and shit. And he'd give it to me at a decent price for me, you know, enough for me to make some good money. So me and him had a good business relationship. So anyways, I tell him, I said, hey, hold up. I said, hey, man, don't be threatening my bro, Blair. You know, Cruz was in the wrong. I agree with you on that or whatever. He should have came up, whispered in your fucking ear. No grown man need to whisper in another grown man's ear in prison. You know, and Blair, he was telling me, like, Casper, you need to pipe down. So anyways, I'm thrown off, and when he steps to me, I'm thinking, hell, it's fixing to get on and popping. So I hook both my knives out my waistline. And anyways, I throw one, like swing my arm at him. I'm trying to just skin pop him, let him know I'm there. When I do, I get hit in my shoulder across my back from behind me by somebody about 6 times, just really fast, just yakka 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 yakka. And what did you get hit with? I got hit with a piece of steel. Fucking with a fucking piece of steel. So we get the fucking bumping off in there. Well, Cruz, I don't know how he managed to get out. I wasn't paying attention to him because I had about 10 motherfuckers drumming on my head because I done up to knife. But somehow he had slipped out when all that shit. I guess he started to slip out or whatever as soon as I came up with the knife, and I just didn't realize it. So, anyways, I get stabbed up about 7 times.
Damn.
And I don't go to no healthcare unit, no nothing like that. My bros doctor me up in the dorm or whatever. They don't kill me, you know. So, anyways, it all just kind of stops. But the bros that went over there, you know, we all got roughed up pretty good. And it was getting close to like 9 o'clock pill call at the time. So they was about to open the door back up and let us go over there. Because we went over there when they shut the yard down with the intentions of burning back out at 9 o'clock pill call. So they called for pill call or whatever. I was like, Casper, you stupid motherfucker. I should have killed you, whatever. I'm like, man, fuck that, man. Get it how you want to. He said, Casper, gone now. So I'm like, man, fuck you, whatever, Blair. And I burned out. Me and my bros burned back out. We all split our ways in the yard, going back to our dorms and shit. Well, Pat doctors me up, Josh Haynes. They sit there, you know, look at my marks and shit on my shoulder blades. And I'll send you pictures of them too. Anyways, Joshua Haynes, they call him Red. He goes by Red. He's redheaded, freckle faced motherfucker. And cool as a fan, man. He's still out. I think he's still doing right.
You had you know, you're going home in 3 years, no matter what, but they really, you would think they would send you to a damn, not level 5, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking something like Decatur work release, Childersburg. No, nothing like that. I caught a few disciplinaries at Kilby.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, while I was that process, and I went to lock up for fighting with a weapon twice. And they tried to hit me with inciting a riot, but I beat it.
Like, he advanced already. We need to go ahead and let him a hardened convict.
Well, I thought because of who my dad was that I had big shoes to fill, and I had to make a name for myself. That and
man,
you know, motherfuckers go to prison and then they have that victim mentality, and I ain't no fucking victim, and I didn't want to be classified as that. So at any sign of disrespect, I had motherfuckers like Scoop and shit in the county. And I was like, Castleberry, no, you can't let them call you no boy. Your name's Castleberry, you know. So the boy word comes out or anything like that, I think I'm being disrespected. So all these motherfuckers in the county that have been to prison are telling me all these fucking war stories about it. And I'm like, you got to go in like a life sentence about anything. So that was the mindset I had when I was there. You know, and then my dad had his thing going on with the paper route and shit like that. And, you know, and with Suboxone and flipping and selling it. And so, you know, I was trying to be knuckleheaded like him. He's got a lot of respect in prison. So I was trying to get my respect. I didn't want anybody, I didn't want anybody to think he was my protector, that I couldn't protect myself.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. There's a YouTuber named, one of the big ones named Joe Baker. He's telling stories about, like, he's a gangster example, his dad's a gangster example, he came to prison, you know, with a similar thing, trying to fill those shoes and shit like that. Actually worked out real bad for him. But, yeah, it sounds, you know, I mean, you didn't embarrass your dad or tarnish the name or anything, so, yeah, you did good.
No, you know, I got a very good name. You know, I still got homeboys in prison that still holler at me and shit like that too. You know, all over the state and camps all over the state. I made a pretty good name for myself down there. I didn't run up no debts, and I wasn't ever strung out on drugs. One thing that's different between like him and my mom, because my mom, she was the district court advocate at the time. She was a victim's advocate for St. Clair County, and she lost her job over hiring me a lawyer. Because they were trying to give me a 20 and weren't trying to give me my youthful offender. They were just trying to give me a 20 straight, and she hired me a lawyer. The charge happened when I was 17. But I didn't plea out to it till I was 18.
Why did they take her job? Because she hired the lawyer?
Yes, she wasn't allowed to give me any legal help because it was conflict of interest. Her office was supposed to be you know, prosecuting me, and they had to hire a Talladega County prosecutor instead of a St. Clair County prosecutor because of the personal relationship with my mother.
Well, boom, that should have killed her. She should have been able to goddamn, you know what I'm saying, and keep her job. Hell, I guess she did what any mother would do in that circumstance. Fuck that.
Yeah, she hired, you know, Mom was going to look out for baby boys. You know, but my dad, you know, he one thing he did is he sat down, he told me, so I understand, son, why you do the things you do. You know, I had never been a prime example of a father. He said, but when you're in here, you need to carry yourself and conduct yourself as a man and don't tolerate no disrespect, because he knew I wasn't always going to be at that camp with him.
Yeah.
You know, he knew that I was going to get shipped out and I'd probably be level 4 or something like that and go to some fucked up camp.
You really
wanted
large more, I guess. Armed robbery. Like,
I was a fucking menace back in my younger years. I've done mellowed out a lot now.
yeah.
And in my teenage years, my early 20s, I was a menace. But, you know, I just glorified that lifestyle, man. Like I said, all my homeboys, you know, were like 6-0 Crip, GD, whatever. So I run around the hood with all my homeboys, man, hitting licks and shit like that, robbing folks, just being a jackass for real.
It's safe to say you are not a racist.
No, not at all. You know, that's one thing that, you know, people get confused with the Southern Brotherhood. We're not a hate-based organization.
Okay.
You know, we're just a pride thing. Just proud of our heritage, you know, and shit like that. You know, I can get down with that. But, you know, it's like this, man. I don't believe there's nothing wrong, you know, with like, you know, dudes saying like, you know, black pride or whatever and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're racist for saying that. You know what I'm saying at all. And I don't, especially, you know, I don't believe in racial supremacy. You know, I think like every race and every culture is a beautiful thing. You know, and so I believe in like cultural, how do you say it, preservation or whatever. And so, but no, I got my best friend. He's a black dude, man. My godchildren are mixed. You know, and so I spend a lot of time with them. They hang out with my son, come over, spend the night at my house. My son goes spends the night at their house.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, brother, what type of positive shit you got going on these days.
Well, today now, man, I mentor troubled youth in my free time.
Okay.
Yeah, I quit drinking. I'll celebrate 2 years sober on November the 24th.
Damn, man.
And yeah, I work with troubled youth in my free time, man. I think that the problem starts as an adolescent and then progresses on into adulthood.
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm a state certified drug and alcohol addiction counselor now. And instead of, you know, taking from the community, you know, I'm trying to give back to the community now.
Damn, that's official. What's the like program that you can even mention that shit or?
Well, I work a 12-step. I'm heavily involved in AA. Outside of that, juvenile probation kind of uses me as like a mentor. Even though I'm on community corrections, they don't hear no issues out of me. I got out of prison. I worked 2 jobs. I worked for myself full time, and then I worked for a metals company full time on maintenance. And so on my business, I understand, you know, people might have fucked up charges in it. And it's hard for somebody with, you know, a robbery case or whatever to get a job.
Yeah.
And, or, you know, manslaughter, or you just got 50 possession cases or whatever. So I'm all about giving somebody a second chance at life, you know, and especially with investing in the youth. You know, they're our future. And kids can more likely relate to somebody that's, you know, lived that lifestyle. If they're acting out, I was more likely when I was a teenager, if I had a motherfucker that, because I did 3 juvenile stints myself between 3 Springs and then Mount Meigs twice. And,
wasn't getting all that, but yeah, but keep going.
So, you know, my thing is now is I try to get on with these youth. I got, you know, my mom, she knows people from working in the court system for years that their kids act out or whatever, and they'll kind of call me and hit me up and ask if I can come speak to their kids, or, you know, if I would think about it, and, you know, and I take every opportunity to do that. Because I think, you know, if their parents are goody two-shoes and all they've got is a driving ticket, and they're out here partying with their homeboys or whatever on the weekend, they can't relate to their parents.
That's,
you know,
that's just really spot on, bro. Definitely kids, I feel like it resonates to hear from somebody that's actually been through the shit.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that'll make me a better parent when I do become one, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be able to provide more than one perspective, and it's going to be the same perspective my parents had.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
And that's what I tell these kids. Like, I got this one kid. I got high hopes for him, man. He's a real good kid, just a little misguided. His name's Raekwon. And when I started mentoring him or whatever, the tattoos threw him off. And so me and him had a lot of heart-to-heart talks at first. When I told him, I said, don't let the tattoos fool you. It don't mean I don't want what's best for you, man. And I told him, prison is different politics and different lifestyle. And I said, choices, you making there or whatever. I said, but me mentoring you and studying you, because we're all about conducting yourself and being a man, and and giving back, doing whatever we can for the community. In a sense, that's what we're supposed to do. That ain't always what happens. You have your bad apples in any organization. And so, I told him, I said, I don't hate you because of the color of your skin. I said, I might hate what you do, but what you do doesn't make me hate you as a person. It's like you might hate me, or you might see the tattoos and just like, oh, he's just a skinhead or whatever. And it's just, I told him, I've lived a lifestyle you haven't lived yet. And something I pray he doesn't live. But he's done brought his grades up in school and all kinds of shit. I see him about 3 or 4 times a week every week.
Damn, man. I'm going on for real. I didn't even know you were involved in all this positive shit. I think the audience is gonna like this shit.
Well, man, prison can either make you or break you, and it can either make you become a better criminal, or it can make you realize where you're fucking up at. Because them dudes in there don't love you, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about your family back at home and shit. And I'll tell you, one of the hardest things as a man to do, and I can just tell you this, if there's people in prison watch this and they don't like what I say, fuck them. If I ever go back, they can see it then. When I realized, when I was listening to my son cry on the phone, wanting to know why his piece of shit daddy wasn't there, I didn't have no valid excuse, because I wanted to kick it with my homeboys, and that shit's stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stupid, man. And I was being a piece of shit father. That's how I look at it. I was doing the same thing to my son that my daddy did to me. And I had to look at myself in the mirror and ask myself if I was happy with that. I want to watch him grow up in pictures. That's lame as fuck. The number one problem with adolescence is fathers absent. That's statistically proven.
Race, regardless of race.
Yeah, regardless of race. You know what I mean? That's just a proven fact. Fatherless homes produce, troubled kids. It's not to say that the mothers can't do good. The mothers tend to be a little bit more lenient with the children than the father are.
Mm-hmm.
I expect more out of my son than my ex-wife does.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, man, that's pretty much my story and what I'm doing now.
Hell yeah, bro. We're gonna have to bring it back to a part 2. I hate to even cut this off, but I know I'm gonna have to split this shit up because this is too good. Oh yeah.
And if you listen to it and want to think of any questions or anything, or any details you want, shit, just hit me back or whatever.
And so there y'all have it, man. My boy LacSB Part 2. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. You see, DC The Voice, Alabama Prisoner Profiles, at the gate.